presents exciting new opportunities for the investment-minded, but it's also volatile and accelerating in complexity. That's why we created Token Metrics, an intelligent crypto platform backed by an industry-leading combination of data, AI, and media that feeds optimized portfolios to crypto investors. Featuring Token Metrics ratings to help you find the best investment opportunities in real time, an indices page that showcases various model portfolios, and deep insights into price predictions and technical analysis. A dedicated NFT dashboard that evaluates NFT collections and assets by our machine learning algorithm to find the most profitable and secure NFTs across all available blockchains. Plus, with access to Token Metrics TV, monitor 24/7 exclusive crypto news and analysis. Whether you're a first-time trader or a seasoned crypto investor, you can stay informed and in control, backed by your all-in-one crypto companion, Token Metrics. Take control of crypto today at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. This is the Market Update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. We are hitting the air this morning early to give you the best news and the best TA on what's happening in the market right now after Superman Jerome Powell did his thing. This show is brought to you by Astrobot Society. Follow them on Twitter. This show is also brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need honest analysis, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live, because we like the surprise live stream. And of course, if you like the content, and I can always remember to share my screen, hit the like button. And if I don't remember to share my screen, hit the like button. If it's sunny, hit the like button. If it's rainy, hit the like button. You get it. Okay, let's welcome and see who's here. Okay, caught everybody off guard today coming early. We have GF from Hamilton, Ontario. Welcome, first on. Solely Soul, Bull Runner, the regulars, right? We have Crypto Stacker, Silent Sandal, Fuel Man 911. Somebody says social. I put a tweet out this morning, crypto_noble, that said, stop being afraid of the Fed. I'll justify that in a minute. Okay, Rugby Performance Lab loves the show. Thank you. Monkey 1034, Dumperoon, right? Like that. Daydream, happy Friday. TGIF, although we're not sure what the F stands for, given what's going on with this market, right? Long Beach, California. Augusta here, thinking about hoovering up some ETH. All right. Man B, welcome. Oh, wow. We have India and Japan checking in late at night. Appreciate you staying up. Tennessee is here, right? Steven with the Notorious love. Right, the Bay Area is here. Welcome, San Francisco. Welcome, Sacramento, California, Connecticut. Right, more guys from California and Josiah from Alabama, and don't forget our friends from Manchester, UK. All right, let's jump into the news. Oh, and of course, we can't forget Dallas. How could we forget Dallas? All right. Now, before we talk about the dump, let's talk about what Jerome Powell didn't tell you this morning. Bloomberg says, how much is power in Europe? In other words, it may be difficult for people in the United States. Up.
Share screen.
Oh, my God. 2 minutes for not sharing the screen. Penalty box. All right, here we go. How much is power in Europe? Okay. What's going on in Europe? Well, like, Bill, you've been wah about Europe. What about it? Okay. Bloomberg says, how much is power in Europe? Well, it's equal to $1,000 a barrel oil. $1,000. That's not a typo. Okay. Here are power prices in Germany. Okay. You'll recognize that as a parabola. A classic altcoin move, moving from bottom left to top right. Okay, so imagine filling up your car at $75 a gallon. Now, I didn't do the math, but think about it. Just think about that. Like, how much would that hurt in the US. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the geopolitical ranch, Jim Rickards, a famous gold bug who's now pivoting towards being a bit of a libertarian, says, here's a chart of Russian oil exports. Notice how they went up after the war in the Ukraine began and have remained at a high level. So Europe is suffering from, the West sanctioned Putin. Putin shut off the gas. Europe is going broke and is going to freeze, and the Russians are raking in the money. And Mr. Rickard says, would somebody please wake up Joe, that would be the president, and tell him the sanctions are a complete failure, and then he can go back to his nap. So Mr. Rickard's getting a little bit partisan there, okay? But it's hard to see a politician changing their mind when they've screwed up as badly as they screwed up before an election. I mean, what is the administration going to do? Go, you know what? We completely screwed this up, but vote for us anyway. No, they're not going to change a thing, and the poor Europeans are suffering. Okay. Meanwhile, we have more silliness. Okay. We have ETH whales are selling. Okay. I mean, not that ETH whales are not smart. Okay. But they're selling. Okay. Well, you know what? If it goes down, we'll see if anyone takes it from them. Thank God I didn't FOMO into ETH yesterday. Remember how I was saying? I was like, oh my God, 1750. I can't look. I'm missing out. Ugh. I took my own advice. I didn't go to the beach. It's like, dude, go to the beach. Go read a Tom Clancy novel. Don't look at it. Okay. Let the whales sell it. And then, of course, there is Mr. Powell. Powell warns of economic pain from tightening. Historical record cautions against loosening policy prematurely. Okay. Powell warns of economic pain from tightening. Didn't we just cover $1,000 oil? It's just not enough pain. This from the guy who told you inflation was transitory a year ago. Now, not to make fun of everybody, Jerome's trying to do his job. I'm trying to do mine. You're trying to do yours. I get it. But we knew they were going to talk tough in September, right? We knew this. Well, we did. The market maybe missed it, but everybody who watches this show did, right? They're going to talk tough. They got to talk tough. You know why? Because when they fire the bazooka in September, they're not going to be able to do anything until after the election unless inflation gets totally out of control. Meanwhile, how does more tightening help Europe? There's going to be a phone call to the Fed from the Pentagon going, guys, take a break. Stop being afraid of the Fed. That's my new mantra. I got a like on that from somebody I really respect. So I like that. Okay. The SEC delays the Bitcoin ETF another 45 days. Shocking news. Okay. Miners eye Ethereum Classic as activity as the merge nears. Okay. The hash rate of Ethereum Classic hits an all-time high. I think a while back, I actually talked to a group that was developing on Ethereum Classic. So who knows? Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't make fun of Ethereum Classic. Maybe it's going to moon. I don't know. Okay. But it's funny, before the merge, Ethereum Classic has the headlines. Whales selling ETH has the headline, but no one's talking about ETH 2.0 anymore. Like last year when ETH was at 4,000, everyone was like, ETH 2.0, with the light shining down from above. Now, no one's talking about it. Okay. Coinbase launches voter registration tool ahead of the November elections. I saw a tweet quoted in a Telegram group before this that Starbucks was encouraging mail-in balloting last election and is now discouraging it. Interesting how these things turn around. Okay. Division in America is real, and so is policy ineptitude. The case for crypto has never been better. And I think if you're going to make money in crypto, you got to make money in September if you can, assuming it goes up. Okay. If it's going to go up, it's going to go up in September, and you got to make money if you can, not investment advice. Okay. Well, we're going to have to check this, but real interesting to see that Synthetix looks to turn off the SNX printer once and for all. really interesting that the SNX founder has said they're going to cap the total supply at 300 million. So I can't wait to see what Synthetix is. I got this news just before I went on the air. Okay. Bored apes melt in your mouth, not in your hands, are coming to a candy company. Okay. Art and M&Ms are not correlated to the economy. Okay. Snoop Dogg and Eminem bring Bored Ape NFTs, okay, into the Otherside, or to the VMAs in Otherside Metaverse performance. Okay. No accident that Bored Ape NFTs are the top rated NFTs by RAI and by Newsflow. Again, what's doing better? Cryptocurrencies or art? Or art. All right. Let's go back. Let's go back to the chat. Okay. Bob Marsh says centralized node problems for ETH. That's obviously not good. GDL says president's behaving badly. Love that. Wish I said it. Okay. Bill, good morning, and fellow Astrobots. Good morning to the Astrobots. Royal says, what about Rektember? Well, it's Rektember. Okay. If you don't, it's Rektember. Okay. If they sell it all into Labor Day and then there isn't a positive catalyst to turn it, right? In other words, obviously, when everyone dumps it, there has to be smart money down there taking it from them. That's when, now, if weak hands buy the dip, then that's how you get Rektember. So I can acknowledge that I'm wrong. Okay. I can acknowledge that I'm wrong. But again, like, I think this is the flip side of sell in May and go away, right? Like, beware when they dump this thing into a quiet market. Okay. Wrong again says ghost of Volker wrecks markets. Well, who's Volker? Well, he was the Fed chairman. The guy's like 6'8". He walked in 1981 or so, told Ronald Reagan inflation was out of control, and proceeded to raise rates to 20%. And I don't recall Ronald Reagan ever complaining, right? He just told Volker to carry on. He crushed inflation, and then the stock market did nothing but go up for the next 30 years. Okay. So if Powell, who admires Volker, starts acting like Powell, if Powell, who admires Volker, starts acting like Volker, you're going to have a problem after the election, which goes along with my theory that if you're going to make money in crypto, right, if they dump this thing and everybody gets bearish, there could be an opportunity here, right? I want you to keep your head clear and focus on the potential opportunity. If we're wrong, we'll lose a little. If we're right, it's going to be a monster move. Okay. I don't understand how Jerome Powell can jam rates higher in the middle of an energy crisis. I mean, is Powell going to jam rates higher in December when Europe is freezing? Seriously, think about it. And ironically, people are predicting social disorder in Europe. There might be, but there may be more social disorder in the United States around the election because of social division. And no one is talking about that. Matter of fact, we're in this time period where I want to talk about either what everyone's not talking about or the opposite of what everyone's talking about. Okay. We have Delaware here. Holder King said Powell didn't say much. Exactly. Right. I mean, he said, yeah, we're going to get hawkish and we're going to tighten and we're going to stop inflation. Of course, he's going to say that. That's his job. But his job is not to wreck the world. It's not. Okay. Christopher Newfer is not a big fan of the current administration. Okay. And Pat is like, why did the feds pretend that they didn't create the problem? Wait, you mean the fact that they printed $6 trillion over the 12 years that followed the great financial crisis? Then they printed $6 trillion during March when COVID hit, and the executive branch of the government and the congressional branch started handing out money while the Fed was printing. So there was no economic activity for a year, and the system was flooded with money. Inflation is defined as too many dollars chasing too few goods. So you can't not produce anything for a year, flood the world with money, and then wonder why there's a massive inflation. Simple. It really is. I mean, it's like in an economics textbook, you know, I don't know. They might cover this like in chapter 2. You might get 3 multiple choice questions on a test about it because it's so obvious. Okay. But, again, governments create problems. That's why we have crypto. That's why we love crypto, even when everyone hates crypto. Okay. Dong Shendi says, buy Bitcoin is the solution. Okay. Wrong again says, I should have taken some PPP money and I didn't take a dime. Okay. All right. And then we have a Tornado Cash developer arrested. Okay. I don't know if that's new news or prior news. All right. And then, of course, Steve J notes that there's a whole slew of economic data coming out in September. Like, I can't see if I'm interested to see if they try to cook another payroll number, right, to hide corporate layoffs and the fact that Americans are all getting second jobs. Okay. We are, believe it or not, all right, we are going to go to a very, very brief PowerPoint presentation today. Okay, here comes the screen share. The screen share. Okay, let's review. $1,000 a barrel in Europe. How does tightening make that better? I don't know. Now, let's look at ETH. 1595 was the first support level. Okay, that may not hold if whales are selling weakness. That's what it looks like is happening. In other words, people are like, oh no, the market's down. I need to get out because it's going to crash, right? That's like the new thing. Okay, ETH went down and now we're going to make new lows. I can just feel, I can hear it. Okay, 50% retracement is at 1459. And if there's an idiotic wick down in a thin holiday market, 1324, these are the levels I'm watching. Now, on the Williams oscillator, we'll do this more on live TA, but there's probably going to be a big move in ETH. Like this down move may be robust. Okay, it may be robust. Now, meanwhile, right, as Powell talks all tough, 1-year U.S. interest rates did not make a new high off what he talked about today. Okay, and I've been talking about the bearish divergence in this. This takes one lousy number, okay, or one headline about what's really going on in Europe. If you live in the UK, okay, and you agree with some of the news flow that they're sending over to America about how bad things are, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free. Like, we would love to hear from you if it's really as bad as they say it is. Okay, now just remember the tightening cycle from 1993 to 1994, when it ended coincidentally near a midterm election, the U.S. Congress or Parliament, when a president was Democratic, when the Republicans won, okay, the tightening cycle stopped and stocks moved. Okay, if they sense the Fed has to slow down, okay, they can talk tough, but if they have to do their 75 or 100 and then slow down, there's going to be a positive trade for risk assets. Now, we covered this yesterday, and I think we covered it the day before, but it's worth talking about. And, feel free to leave a comment if you like our little Astrobot decoration for the PowerPoint. Now, let's just get right to live TA because this market's a mess, and I know everybody is worried. So let's see what we can do to help people with their worry. Okay. Now, let's continue with our tradition of drawing stuff like right on the charts. So I've been talking about this 60-day or 60 period exponential moving average. Okay. Really interesting that this is a 4-hour chart, right? So 64-hour bars. Okay. Kind of followed it all the way up. And then yesterday, it got rejected. Thank God I was patient. Goodness. Okay. So who knows if they're going to be able to take out 1595. Okay. Somebody is probably going to start drawing this. I would imagine you're going to see this on crypto Twitter, right? You're going to see a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. Okay. So I guess if, let's just draw the neckline, then I can show you how we draw a target on these things. So if that's the neckline, then assuming that neckline, which is right around 1571. So let me just change this to 1571. Okay, we're putting the live in live TA. Feel free to hit the like button if you like it. I didn't think of that. If you like live TA, feel free to hit the like button so we know to give you more. Okay, now the target is the distance between the neckline and the head, measured from the point of the breakdown, which we don't have yet. Yikes. That would be 1100. So here's what could happen. Obviously, it could just crack and go to 1100. What I suspect may happen is something like this. Everyone's going to see the head and shoulders pattern and get bearish. Frequently in crypto, the stuff that everybody can see doesn't work. I mean, it could. Okay, but this to me looks like A, B, C, right? And then what everyone's going to do is go, oh my God, this is so bearish. It's going to 1100. And then it's going to do this. It's going to catch everybody short looking for 1100. And it's going to do that. And there's nothing more bullish than a bearish pattern that doesn't work. Now, I realize I'm like, I don't know, 8 steps into the future. But as you get ready, as you head for the beach with your Tom Clancy novel, right? You want to be aware of this because everyone's going to talk 1100. And I guess if you did get ETH at 1100 before the merge, I'm like, okay, well, hey, you guys want to mark it down that much? Cool. Right? Cool. I mean, we talked about being patient. So let's be patient. Right? I suspect they're going to trigger the bearish formation, complete the ABC, and then, everyone's going to get caught short. Is that crystal ball? Is that pie in the sky? Maybe. But you can bet everybody will be talking about this tomorrow or today. Okay. You can bet they will start doing that. Okay. Fernando says, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Okay. Marco thinks 17K BTC. Okay. Crypto Crazy likes the live TA. So let's go to Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. Actually, let's go to Bitcoin here. Right. So this is Bitcoin 8 hours. Okay. So more live TA. So this chart's pretty busy. I'm actually going to take the fib numbers off of it for the moment. Okay. So this is a bear flag, right? Or a rising wedge. So if it's a bear flag, well, the target is a lot lower. It's a lot lower. And, we would discuss that later. Now, when you have one of these boxes, okay, you measure the width of the box, and then you measure down from the point of the breakdown. Okay, that would be 19.4K, okay, which was the low for the pi cycle bottom. So could Bitcoin go to 19.4K? Sure. You want to sell Bitcoin below 20K when those assets on that Celsius balance sheet, it's like a coin flip as to whether or not they're going to get dumped into the market or they're going to get reorganized into a crypto-friendly bank that's regulated and centered around Bitcoin? We'll see. We'll see. Now, just to be honest, okay, let's just talk about Zcash because this is one of the things about Zcash that just, frankly, it sucks. Okay. So you may have noticed, but Zcash has been outperforming the last couple of days, particularly Bitcoin. And I haven't made a particularly big deal about it because unfortunately, when Zcash and Litecoin outperform, the market dumps. I hate that, but that's the way it is. Okay. Support in Zcash is at 62. Right. I'm always looking for a level to buy. I did not want to pay 70 something or 80 something. Right. I don't. I want to make them sell me these things at really good prices. Okay. So let's chart Stonks. Let's just see what's going on over here. You know, I'm seeing a lot of headlines on stocks newsletters. It's like the dog days of August. Nothing's happening. It's boring. Well, so much for that, right? Okay. So, a lot of drama in stocks. You can see when stocks failed in April for sell in May and go away at the 60-day exponential moving average. And now we have Stonks retesting the 60-day exponential moving average. And, you know, everybody's upset. Powell's freaking out. Okay. So if stocks break the 60-day, that would be obviously bad. Okay. A lot of cryptocurrencies spent some time above the 60-day moving average and then turned around and fell out of bed. Okay. So do we want to sell everything on old news? I mean, stocks should go down. Earnings should be bad. I think everybody understands this. Stocks cannot afford to be as forward-looking as crypto. Like stocks can't look at high inventories, margins low, earnings terrible, and say, that's just a one-off. They can't do that. Crypto and foreign exchange can go, hey, wait a minute. You know, this is bunk. We've seen all this before. Now, speaking of, I don't know. I don't want to call it bunk, but let's see what the dollar index is doing today. So we're afraid of a dollar index parabolic. Okay, dollar index went down and came back again. Let's go 89-minute. Okay. So obviously there were a lot of people buying the dip in the dollar this morning. There's a big green candle. Let's see if there's a fib number that was relevant here. Okay. Somebody was comparing crypto with energy prices. All right. So the foreign exchange market, okay, it couldn't control itself. DXY. Okay, let me just label this. Again, if you like live TA better than PowerPoint, hit the like button so we know. DXY went to the 38% retracement and it just couldn't get there because they couldn't control themselves because they need the dollar. Okay. So if Europe is messed up, I understand. It makes sense. 38% retracement was at 107.50. They wanted the dollar, hence crypto getting hammered. Okay. Crypto's going to get hammered if they still want the dollar. Okay. U.S. interest rates. Look at this. Okay. This is U.S. Actually, let's do it this way. It's easier to understand. Okay. So this is an 89-minute chart of long bond futures. And you're like, Bill, if everyone's afraid of the Fed, shouldn't bonds go down? Yeah, they should. But what happens when the Fed over tightens or the Fed gets too tough? Well, bonds can rally, right? They can rally. Now, are they going to? I don't know. I don't know. But they try bonds, long bonds, right? Long bonds at the Chicago Board of Trade are trying to trade up today or at least hold their ground. So if everyone's afraid of stocks and the Fed is going to go, you know, they're going to do what they have to do in September, but you can't have people in Europe freezing and the Fed jamming on the brakes massively. Particularly if you walk into any big box retailer, you will notice that the shelves are so stuffed. They've got so much inventory. I don't know how they're going to sell it without slashing prices. It doesn't affect food, fuel, and rent, I understand, but it's just something to keep in mind, right? We don't want to do the current trade. We want to do the next trade. What is the next big trade? Now, does that make for popular YouTube content? Sometimes not. But it does get people ready. So if there is a big up trade, people are ready. I'd rather have, you know, a core audience ready with the strategy and other people bored, okay, than miss the move. Frequently, you just have to wait. Okay. Now, Optimism, another ETH merge beneficiary. we think. 62% is at $1.10. Very interested to see if that holds. So Optimism came out, Optimism went down. 62%. It held down here a couple different times. Okay, Pat says, you know, is privacy the next big narrative? Let's see how Secret Network is doing. Ian Bellina came out and talked about that. You will not have to tell me twice to like a privacy play going forward. One other thing I like about live TA is that I don't necessarily have to worry about sharing the screen because I just keep it up here. Come on, people. That was supposed to be a joke. You're supposed to be laughing. Okay. Okay. So if I'm looking at Secret, it's down 7% because it just can't get through that 60-day moving average. Okay. Secret Network was doing well. All right. And it's simple as this is a good example. Like, who's going to win the battle at the 60-day exponential moving average? Who's going to win? The bulls or the bears? They're going to go back and forth, back and forth. Bears have a clear advantage today. Okay. Let's look at Walmart stock on a daily basis. Okay. So these guys got hammered. Cramer gave them a hard time about execution because they got caught with a bunch of inventory. Walmart went to the 62% retracement, right, of its recent decline around 144. It couldn't get there, and it turned around and started failing. Okay. So how are all these big box retailers going to get rid of all their inventory? How are they going to do that? Well, at Walmart, they call it rollback. Other places, they call it discount, right? It's too much inventory. Now, again, that doesn't impact fuel in Europe, but if retail sales start falling out of bed, remember, there's all these economic numbers are coming out, right? All these economic numbers that come out. Let me see if I can find a calendar for economic indicators. Normally, this is something, you know, it's normally something that people in the bond market look at, like what economic numbers are coming out on what day. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, how about a little something for your crypto bookmarks. Okay, here's an economic calendar. This week's major U.S. economic reports and Fed speakers. Okay. So we had jobless claims, right? And then we have next week. Okay. S&P Case-Shiller. Let me see if I can blow this up. Hey, this is going to matter for crypto. S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index. Okay. How is the Fed impacting home sales? Consumer confidence. I'm sure that's going to be just a fantastic number. We have a Fed president speaking, and that's just Tuesday. Then, as everybody heads to the beach on Labor Day, right? We have Thursday, initial jobless claims. Who's filing for unemployment? Chicago Manufacturing Index on the last day of August. Okay, then Friday, September 2nd, in what's undoubtedly going to be an illiquid market, non-farm payrolls or the unemployment report. Okay, so remember, okay, Market Watch is a great place to follow what's going on with economic data, right? Because this unemployment report gives you average hourly earnings, right? Labor force participation. In other words, are people jumping into the job market, right? Because they need the money, all right? Interesting stuff that's going to be going on there. All right, let's go back and check what's going on in ETH. So ETH is, you know, hammering itself below that 60-day exponential moving average, right? So this is the ETH daily chart. And again, if you like live TA, Okay, if you like this style, okay. Somebody's calling from the beach in Italy, enjoying today's market update. Okay. Nothing like being on the beach in Italy with capital ready to invest as everybody is getting wound up. Okay. I have a fib circle point around, say, 1330. Okay. So, people are unhappy. Coinbase is down 7%. Okay. Ironically, Tesla is holding. Okay. So Tesla may be the key to the stock market in risk assets. Okay, Bill, if we get 2,000 likes, will you sing us a crypto song? Sir, if I get 2,000 likes, I will sing something as best I can. Okay. That's right. That's right. Okay. 2,000 likes going to make me look really good with my boss. So singing won't be a problem. Okay. So Tesla's down 2%. The 60-day moving average, exponential moving average is at 276. Tennessee, sir, you're not late. You're not early. You're right on time. That's what we used to tell people when it was like in 2020, they thought they missed out. I would say, you're never too late. You're never too early. You're right on time. Right? It was like, oh my God, Bitcoin's at 10K. I missed out. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Okay, let's check Synthetix. I know there was news about that today. Okay, so there's positive news, and Synthetix is not able to get above its 60-day exponential moving average. Now, that's probably because the market is dumping, but it could be interesting to see how some of these tokens respond, once the heavy part of the dump is done. My sense is ETH whales are probably going to sell into weakness. Okay. And then, we have other headlines. CME Bitcoin futures see record discount amongst very bearish sentiment. Excellent, right? The more bearish they get, the better, especially headed into a slew of economic data right as everybody goes to the beach. So that first week in September, who knows what that unemployment number is going to show? Maybe it's going to show everybody's got to go out and get a second job, and it's gangbusters. With the unemployment report, it's always about what's underneath the number, not just the number itself. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we can look at here. Okay. Somebody says Powell didn't say anything much. Why are stocks and crypto going down? People are crazy. Why is it bearish? Okay, it's bearish because we've gone full circle, right? So if we go back to ETH, actually, let's go to Solana. We'll go to Solana and check that out. Okay, so Solana is not having any fun, right? Because they're taking out a trend line. Although I have just got done doing like a deep dive and really studying this Web3 phone thing, but I'm getting off topic. Okay, a year ago, everyone said inflation is transitory. Don't worry about it. Now the Fed is saying inflation is a disaster and rates are going to 9%. Okay, everybody is hysterical because they think the Fed is just going to continue to tighten, and they will tighten and they will do their job to stop inflation. Okay, but governments always screw up. So why is everyone upset? I don't know, because the trade for today is to be upset. The trade for yesterday was to be up. And I talked about this, right? It's like, oh, why is the market up? Oh, more buyers than sellers. Why is the market down? Oh, more sellers than buyers. And this is the dog days of August. This is the dog days of August, right? You have to expect this type of price action. Now let's maybe draw something different on Solana, since what we are drawing is not working or is not relevant at the moment. Okay, so Solana is smashing through the 62% retracement of its recent up move. That's no bueno. All right. My sense about Solana after reading about this mobile phone, where, you may wind up getting airdrops for having the phone, either that was completely priced in, okay, or it's an underrated theme that anybody inside the Solana machine might wait for the ETH merge. Okay, might wait for the ETH merge to go by before announcing any more phone catalysts. So this is fib speed resistance fan lines. And, you know, it hasn't been terribly useful, but I do notice that, you know, if you wanted to put in like throwaway bids in Solana, in other words, if the merge comes out and everybody goes, Solana is dead, 26 might be a point. Just saying, right? Just saying, especially if people can get hysterical. Giorgio Brown says, please let it crash more so I can buy it all up. Okay. Patience paid off, right? Sell in May and go away worked. And now we're going to see if fading the bearish sentiment, which is going to build, right? The thinner the market gets, you got big players selling in a thin market, right? Everybody wants out before the payroll number. Everyone's going to the beach. People are like, oh my God, I'm going to carry risk into Labor Day. I got to go to the beach. Wait, there's a payroll number before Labor Day? Oh my God, I got to get out, right? The best trades are the toughest trades. Everyone's like, oh, I want to get out. I want it to be easy. I want peace of mind. They want the easier, softer way. Okay, that doesn't always work. Again, not investment advice. All right, let's try to get maybe a different level on Solana to see if there's anything that would give you support that's deeper or not as deep as 26, 29.50. Okay, somebody says not investment advice. Yes, we are here for entertainment. So I'm entertaining you today with live TA. Exactly. Right. So 29.90, 29.50, 29.80. So, you know, again, if people get hysterical, and I talked about this yesterday, right? People get euphoric, it's probably a sale. People get, you know, people total despair, it's probably a buy. Not investment advice heading into the merge, right? It's like, oh, I love it. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I love it. Oh, I hate it. And then when they go, oh, I give up, that's when it happens. If it happens, right? This is what markets do, right? Markets went before this thing went down, it would go up, it would go up, it would go up. The rallies would fail, but it would just keep going up. It's actually making higher highs when ETH, I think, was at 3,600. Let's go to that chart. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find how frankly miserable it was to be bearish right before this thing went down. Okay, so I mean, there was, you know, there was a failed rally. There was a failed rally here, right? And then you're like, okay, that's it. We're not going to do any more. And then the thing rips up and goes up here. So you opened here, you rallied all the way up, and then you closed down. Then you opened up here, ripped it to a new high, stopped everyone out, and then dropped it. They did it again. They tried to rally it again and then dropped it. Oh, and then it got extra special. Look at this. Then they killed it. Everyone's like, okay, I have to get out and get short. And then they rip it up. So you actually had to deal with the big pickle here 4 times before this thing actually went down. And if you count this God candle, it was 5 times before ETH actually did fall out of bed. Now, that was a tough trade. That was tough. Nobody wanted to hear sell in May and go away. No one wanted to hear it. And I suspect people might be more amenable to buy the ETH merge because, you know, crypto is like an organically long community. But that doesn't mean that prior to that trade potentially happening, that it would be miserable. It'd be miserable. Like ETH's down 10% today. People are going to buy the dip at 1570 and go, oh, no. People are going to be stopping out right when, you know, you're coming off the beach. Don't forget your sunblock and your Tom Clancy novel, right? By the way, when you're off, you don't have to look at the market. Seriously. Gann said this. I know it's crazy. We want you to watch the market update every day. We really do. But Gann says don't look at the market every day. Don't just sit and stare at the screen all day, every day. Go to the beach. Let them hit this thing. Let them hit it. Notorious Bill versus Jim Cramer, gladiator style in the octagon, would be entertaining. People, I'm all about entertainment. I'm all about it, right? I mean, I think what they need to do is maybe put me somewhere where somebody doesn't like crypto, or somebody who thinks stocks are better than crypto, or something like that. Like crypto is dead. Crypto is dead, or crypto has no use case. Yeah, me and Cramer might actually get along, right? Because we're both big mouths, right? And we have to talk every day, regardless. But, you know, I go octagon with anybody who wants to go octagon. I mean, you know, I'm not shy, as you might suspect. Okay, Avalanche. Okay, let's check out where Avalanche is. Actually, you know what? Rather than draw the fib retracement lines, because you can probably do that on your own. You can do this on your own too, but just curious as to what's going on here. Ooh, yikes, right? So, you know, you got a little bit of like the failed breakout going, or actually you never really got a breakout, right? It tried to bump against these fib speed resistance lines. There was some pretty good support yesterday, but that was yesterday. Okay. So nobody is particularly happy in altcoins. Let's Donato says, what about Peter Schiff? Hey man, I'm ready. Okay. Marco says, my in-laws just came back from Poland. Poland is not a big fan of its neighbor, right? And they decided to get their oil and gas from Sweden. Okay. Germany and Europe are in real trouble. Sylvester says, thoughts on Dogechain. Okay. Let's put it this way. I started following Dogechain on Twitter. So not investment advice, but I did start following Dogechain on Twitter, where they are bitter that Musk didn't buy the company, I believe. Okay. Bubba says, watching me on delay. Sorry, Bubba. We hit the tape early because the market was cascading lower. Okay. Helium just hit a new low. Let's look at Helium. Helium was at support yesterday, but like I said, that was yesterday. Okay. Right. So with good projects, you know, in Helium, to be honest with you, let's pull up an 89-minute chart. And, you know, this is starting to look like your classic altcoin give up trade, where it's kind of basically down only. Okay, it's basically down only, right? People are giving up on Helium. Now, let's see if we can use hidden pivot analysis to try to get a downside target. Okay, so I'm still looking for something that might make sense in Helium. Give me just 1 second. Okay. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. This structure shows support in Helium at 626. So the way I would do this in Helium is like, all right, they're giving up. And if 626 holds, which currently it isn't, but if this thing can manage to recover back above 626, that would be constructive. Now, if Helium can't get it together, okay, actually, now that I focus in on it, it's actually 622, and I forgot the decimal. At least I didn't forget to share the screen. So 622 is an interesting point in Helium, right? And this is definitely a give up trade. So, I mean, I'm real interested in this. Now, if it's a disaster, right, you could be looking at 569. remember, helium is popular, and a lot of times the stuff that people are long is the stuff that gets smacked the most. But I'm still interested at 622. Oh, Cardano. Oh, really wanted Cardano to do something decent. It's likely not happening at this time. Okay, so Cardano, right? Again, this is the 89-minute chart. Let's try a fib speed resistance structure. I'm sorry, a fib speed resistance fan line on an intraday structure. Okay, so there's Cardano getting stoned at resistance. Did not see that. Let's try to draw this on a bigger picture basis, right? So what we're basically doing here is, like, if anybody's wondering, like, what is this guy doing? Basically, we're looking for support and resistance that people can't see. We've been doing a lot with token metrics lately. So you definitely want to go back and watch yesterday's video, because I covered a lot of our automated AI support and resistance. For today, we decided to mix it up, right? Somebody's coming in late and giving love to token metrics. We appreciate that. Okay. Somebody is late, but more prepared than they were in February. That's good to know. Okay. So with Cardano, oh no, 42 cents looks like support. Now, to be intellectually honest, I drew some of these lines on Twitter when the bull market first started in 2020, and some guy goes, "Oh my God, here come the line drawers." I'm like, all right, well, maybe this guy has a point. Okay, so Cardano, I can draw a line at 42 cents, but that means Cardano's got to hold it. I think what I would love to see is, since Cardano killed everybody by going above the 60-day moving average and then failing badly, is if Cardano could turn around and get back above 50 cents. In other words, with the way this is trading, right? Like, if 42 cents holds, it's probably going to be okay. But if ETH winds up at, I don't know, 1,400 something, then obviously this is not going to be okay. The way I would do Cardano, I think Cardano's technical picture would be more positive if it actually closed back above 50 cents, back above the 60-day exponential moving average. Matter of fact, I talked to our quant guys, and I said, you know what we need? We need a list of all the coins that were above the 60-day that came back down below it. So if they cross the 60-day again, we're in. Right? So that this is we're out, and then there's we're in. That's how I want to do it. Not investment advice, right? In means the chart picture would change and go positive, because it's like they stop everybody out on the upside, they stop everybody out on the downside, everybody gives up, and it goes. Okay. All right. Somebody likes to work. We appreciate that. Jamal says, I finally caught a live show. Well, I'm glad. I am glad. We did a little early today. This thing was like totally dumping. I'm like, oh, we're not going to sit here and wait around. We're not doing that today. Not that we sit around. We don't sit around. We do analysis. We make charts. We do all kinds of stuff. Okay. But I just said, you know what? We're going to go without the PowerPoint today. We're just going to chart it on the air. So somebody's looking for a bottom in red. This is interoperability. Okay. So let's see what this looks like with a linear regression channel. Okay. Sometimes when you get these markets that are sideways, this linear regression channel function. So that's, I think I have it in my favorites. Okay. It's right there. Linear regression channel. Okay. So, what it'll do is it just takes the recent range and it uses statistics to try to tell you where the top and the bottom is. Now it's going to use prior points, but at think the objective is just below 11 cents should be support in REN. And frankly, I would say if REN actually held 11 cents, I would turn around and want to look at Polkadot. Okay. Did you miss Pond? No, you did not. So let's take a look at that. Okay. So again, linear regression channel, which, you can interpret as a bear flag or a range, 0.0103. In other words, we're at the point where, range traders will probably win. Like everyone was buying yesterday, and no doubt you had, like professional traders selling, and then everybody's going to get all upset, and ETH will be down 10% on the close, right? And then somebody says, whales did let ETH pump again for everyone to go in. Now they're letting it crash all the same. Right. Right. They pumped it so they could unload on it. Now, the question is, who's taking it from the whales? Who's on the other side? Okay. Somebody's asking for SPY. Oh, well, looking at equities. Okay. So the linear regression channel in equities is not a pretty picture, at least not on the daily chart. It got to the top and then has turned around. 60-day moving average is at 408. If we went to an 89-minute chart, okay, there's kind of more support where there is right now at 408. And then, I don't know, let's just check a 4-hour chart to see where we are. It's kind of coming out of its, it's been traveling in this upward sloping channel. And today they're kind of smashing through it. So we'll see if stonks fall apart. Obviously, with Bitcoin down 4%, right? Bitcoin's channel actually slopes down on the 4-hour chart. Okay. Support is at 19.3, which we talked about earlier. Let me label this as the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. So I think when you're looking at stonks, you have to look at Bitcoin along with it because, I don't know. I think the ETH merge and everything that's related to that is very crypto specific. I think people freak out about the Fed. That trade is normally in, bonds, obviously, stonks, and Bitcoin. Okay, I'm buffering. Am I still buffering? All right. Well, I guess we'll let me know. Okay. Sydney, Australia, 747. Good to see you too. Somebody's like chart Ethereum Classic. Okay. I forget about Ethereum Classic. Okay, so Ethereum Classic on a 4-hour chart. I don't know. Let's go to the daily. I think one of the reasons why you got to be a little bit careful about Ethereum Classic is that it showed up in the press, right? People like me, like not a big fan, not a big fan, not a big fan. And then it shows up in the media and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I got to get interested. See, where is it? Where's our news thing? Okay. There it is. Miners eye Ethereum Classic activity as merge nears. So what do you do when the media is interested in something? Exactly the opposite, maybe with the exception of something like Bloomberg, where, this may be the peak of the disaster, at least headlines in Europe, but the reality is people on the ground are in trouble. Okay, so in Ethereum Classic, we drew a structure with fib speed resistance line. So buyers are buying it at 33 and sellers are selling it against this fib structure, right? Let me see if I can show the fib structure. Okay, so this is drawn off the highs back in September of last year. So let me get rid of this linear regression band because it's too complicated. And maybe this fib number. Okay, so the good news is Ethereum Classic is above the 60-day moving average. The bad news is it can't get above this structure, this fib speed resistance structure. And note how that was resistance there. And this structure was support here. You may be wondering, Bill, how do you know whether or not to use one structure or the other, one high and one low to connect? Well, that's how you do it. Say, all right, where in the recent past has this structure been relevant? It was actually relevant right at the bottom as well. So how seriously should you take resistance in Ethereum Classic? Given that it just showed up in the media, I would say pretty serious, right? Okay, is there a head and shoulders top on the Bored Ape Yacht Club floor price? I'd have to check into that. I know that there is software that allows you to look at that. Okay, art and stocks are not correlated. Do you want to pay whatever they're asking there for a Bored Ape? Well, if you had a lot of money, you probably have some training in art. I'm going to have to leave that up to you, right? I say in art, and I have said this a long time, maybe value investing in art. Like yesterday, I talked about World of Women. That showed up on Token Metrics' NFT grade. So not investment advice, but, was kind of wondering about that as you headed into a political season where women's issues were going to be at the forefront. They're going to be at the forefront. I mean, whether the voters care about it or not, you can believe the U.S. media is going to do everything it can to make it an issue. Okay. Mike Ski says, why so serious? Is this 1929 all over again? Well, dude, I certainly hope not, because I was talking about that. We have 1929 when I'm trying to thinking September is going to be better and that this is an opportunity. That's going to be me eating humble pie. I'll have humble pie. So instead of singing for 2,000 likes, I'll be eating humble pie on the air. Wrong Again says bull and bears stopped out today, and you can expect more of that in the holiday market, right? Everybody buys the top, they sell the low, and then they give up, and boom, that's when the trade happens. Okay, so let's sum this up. Go to the beach. Don't make too much out of any one day. Like yesterday was up, today it's down. Okay. The Fed talks tough today. And if there's problems in Europe, they're going to have to rethink that. There's problems in America too. It may be inflation. It also may be demand destruction. We'll see. There's a lot of economic numbers coming out between now and the U.S. Labor Day holiday. Okay. I think I've been doing a lot of cheesy market sayings. Okay. Don't go long into a long weekend. Okay. Don't go long into a long weekend appears to be how these guys are charting this. Okay. So from our production crew, okay, who is always a super capable group, I do have the Bored Ape Yacht Club floor price. So let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, so there's a 90-day, I have a 90-day window for the Bored Ape Yacht Club floor price. So I'm about to drop that into my PowerPoint and we'll see what we get and we'll read that chart. Live TA on Bored Ape Yacht Club floor price. Okay, here it comes. And don't laugh. I am going to remember to share the screen. Okay, here comes the screen share on the Bored Ape Yacht Club floor price. Let's see what we see. Okay, so this is clearly a 5-wave top. Oh, did it not show up? Get out of here.
No share screen.
All right. Another 2-minute penalty. Back to the box, as they say in hockey. If there's anyone in Canada out there who wants to leave a laugh out loud comment, feel free. Okay. So is this a head and shoulders top? Well, we may need more history to determine that. Okay. One thing you get when you get this sort of like down only action, this like heavy profit taking in July and August, is sometimes you get a rebound that retraces a big chunk of the down move. I've seen this in stocks, right? Stocks will make this huge new high. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's going up forever. Then boom. Okay. Then there's like a retracement. And then after the retracement is when you finally decide, hey, this is what I want to do. Now, remember, there was all this talk about liquidation in NFTs, right? There was all this panic that everybody who borrowed against Bored Ape was going to get liquidated. So I can check, right, for the head and shoulders top, but honestly, this price action's not unexpected because everybody was talking liquidation. And I don't know if that's still the talk, but my talk on NFTs is art and stocks are not correlated. I got a 5-page report that says that. And I got Bloomberg telling me that electricity prices in Europe are equivalent to $1,000 oil. So I want something that's not correlated with that. Now, is it Bored Ape? I don't know. Dead Fred said that that horn is going to turn into a 5-minute major. Well, hopefully I don't get ejected. Hopefully I don't get ejected. And we need something for when I call the market. When I get the market right, we need like the red lamp that goes off for when we score. I'll work with the production team on that. If you like hockey noises and analogy, feel free to leave a comment. If you got any ideas from football in Europe, let us know. Okay, now I promise I'm actually going to sum it up. Go to the beach, watch the market update every day. Don't trade every day. Don't buy when it's high and don't sell when it's low. Not investment advice. Be ready to hoover up the market when they hit it, right? If you saw 1,400 ETH, that could be an opportunity. The focus is, how do I get involved for a turnaround in September? That's it, right? Now, does that mean go out and put the rent money in today? No. How do I get ready for September? You rest, you watch, you think, right? Rest, watch, think. That's the market update for today. I'm your host, Bill Noble. I will see you tomorrow.